Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Venkatraman sir also has joined.
Sir, he has joined.
Is my voice clear, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, Manoranjan sir, can you please share the presentation, sir?
Okay, I'll share now.
Okay, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay,
We'll start in a few minutes, sir.
okay, no issue.
Okay, sir, thank you. Sir.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to the faculty development program, second day of FDP. I request I request Venkatraman sir to introduce the guest. Before that, I wanted to tell you few things regarding the speaker, Dr. Manoranjan Sahu. He has done significant work in the field of power electronics, particularly in the DC to DC converters and grid connected inverters also, and renewable energy systems. He has been doing a good work in the field of power electronics. So we are very happy to hear from the Dr. Manoranjan Sahu sir. So yeah, we are very happy to hear from him. So now with this small introduction, I would like to ask Venkatraman sir to introduce the guest. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. It's a great privilege and honor to introduce the speaker of the today's session, Dr. Manoranjan Sahu, Assistant Professor from NIT Tiruchirappalli. Dr. Sahu has received his PG and PhD degrees from IIT Hyderabad. His research areas includes power electronic converter design, PWM inverters, induction motor drives, and power converters for electric vehicle applications. He has publications in highly reputed journals such as IEEE Transactions and IET, etc. And with this small introduction,
Hello.
I would
Excuse
like
me,
to
sir.
invite.
Hello. Sir, excuse me, sir. Your voice is not audible too. It was in a very low pitch.
Okay. Is it audible now, madam? Hello?
It is
Is it audible
and
now?
clear, sir. It is audible and clear, not an issue.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, with this small introduction, I'd like to invite Dr. Manoranjan Sahu to start the presentation today. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Venkat. Good morning, one and all. And I would like to thank Professor Kiran Kumar, head of the department of EEE department of Bardhaman Engineering College, for giving me an opportunity to share whatever I have done on the work during my research work. And I hope you are all doing good. And I may request all the faculty members and participants to mute their mic when they are not talking or not discussing anything with me, or they don't have any queries. Please mute their mic so that it will not be create any audio problem. Okay. So with that, today my plan is to discuss about the advanced power electronics converter for renewable energy system. So the brief outline of this presentation would be, or the discussion, I'll rather say it's a discussion, because presentation it is a one-way process, but discussion means it is a both the way process. So with this, today I may discuss about what is the importance of power electronics in renewable energy system. Then I'll go what is the motivation behind using of impedance source inverter, which is the one of the advanced power electronic converter for this renewable energy system. Then how to realize or how to formulate a impedance source inverter and its PWM control for the renewable energy system, right, for different applications based on the loads, pattern and others. Then how this evolution of impedance source inverter starting from its origin, how it is developed day by day till now. Then I'll discuss some of the basic impedance source multi-level inverter. After that, I'll go to how to again modify it and get a better converter with LC switch 3-level inverter. Then fault tolerant LC switch 3-level inverter. Like this, my flow of discussion would be starting from the realization of or a formulation of the impedance source inverter, then understanding its operation and how to control it. Then slowly we'll go to the multi-level part of this impedance source inverter. Okay. So if I'll go, before going to start, my voice is audible to all? I hope so.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sorry for the interruption.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Sir, could you please present the same content in slideshow mode?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Is it
Thank you.
fine?
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Okay. So why we want to go for renewable energy system, though most of you are knowing it, but I am going to refresh your mind little bit so that we can correlate a little bit. So I think you might be knowing our human lifestyle has been improved significantly from last few decades. If you'll see, in the 18th century, our only mode of any message transporting message to send is only pigeons, and you might have seen in the movies. But right now we have what, laptops and mobile phones, smartphones. I think now post office are you might be very hardly seeing this postcard. So that means we are going from the 18th century, we have moved it towards the today's century. Most of the electrical and electronics background things. You can see the lighting also. It is from the kerosene based lamp to the LED based lamp, and you might be seeing this handmade this fan to this right now fan and air cooler, air conditioner. Okay. And right for the day-to-day our field work also, it has been changed quite significantly, right? So this is what it shows is, you can see our lifestyle has changed, though we are doing the same work, but this way of the doing work has been changed significantly. Okay, based on our comfortness, we want to do it faster or something else, right? So if you'll see, as per the World Bank report, you can see the per capita of energy consumption has been increased quite significantly day by day. Okay, so what they used to say, the World Bank report is say, the more capita of energy consumption indirectly represents how the country is developed, how much it is developed, right? So but if from where it will come, this energy, it will come from some of the, till now also we are depending on most of the conventional fossil fuels like coal or whatever, gas or petroleum, liquid petroleum. But if we consume like this, and because we have seen our demand of electricity is quite day by day increasing, but the source is what, limited. So if we consume like in this rate, what we are doing now, then it will deplete very fast. it's a major challenge for our future generation. Our future generation may say, what you have saved for us? Nothing. Okay, so to get rid out of this, we may depend on what some of the renewable energy sources like hydropower, wind power, or photovoltaic power. But hydropower, it's a very good thing because it can give a stable power supply. But problem is, if you want to go for new hydropower plants, you need a huge land area. For that, you need clearance from Environmental Regulatory Authority, Human Rights Commission, Environmental Board, so many things. You have to right of way, so many permissions you need. And you need, this change in climate affects water level in a reservoir and power production a lot. Okay, so that's why can we go for some alternative renewable energy sources like PV or wind? So if you'll see this, almost all countries now looking for the installation of mostly solar and wind power. If you'll see this plot, this is the recent plot, recent data that renewable energy report came. If you'll see in 2018, 181 gigawatt. So you can see out of that, you see the solar is taking a major boost, right? So keeping in this mind, I'll discuss mostly on the one part is a PV. Okay. So then what is the important? Okay, we have seen now renewable energy, we may go for it. Then what is the importance of power alternatives? Where the power alternatives plays here the role? So if you'll see the renewable energy, whatever you will see, whatever wind or solar, which are the presently plays a major role, means a major installation when all countries are looking forward. So if you'll see they follow some daily and seasonal patterns variation, because it may vary based on the season. So, and power demand by the consumer also follow some different characteristics, right? So how will match this? So to match this, you cannot rely on only renewable. You have to add some additional sources like fuel cell or micro turbine, right? Secondly, the terminal voltage of sources like wind turbine, generator, and photovoltaic plant fuel are quite different, and load voltage is different. So how to integrate? So direct synchronization is not preferable, because some of this grid is AC grid, but your sources are DC. So you cannot directly integrate. So you need some of the power alternate converter in between, right? So this is the power alternate converter. I have given taken some DFIG based. Same is the case for almost all the wind turbine. So a converter is there to control the both active and reactive power and maintain the voltage. And similarly for the PV system, we may have to use either after PV string a DC, if it a grid is AC, then DC-DC converter followed by either DC-AC inverter or a transformer, or both people sometimes use, right? Or if you are a fuel cell, then you have to connect a DC-DC converter and DC-AC converter in cascading, right? So to match the load, this is all the cascading of the converters or transformer is to match the load characteristic. Okay. Now, what is the motivation? Where you want to go the impedance source inverter, right? So the motivation behind is, because our source is what now PV is a DC source, and your grid is what AC grid, because most of the loads are now AC, right? So there are to match this load voltage and voltage profile and current profile and frequency. So there are two patterns people used to use normally. One is after a voltage source inverter, you can use a transformer. This voltage source inverter, when you are using, it may act for both inverting the voltage and MPPT purpose. And then you can use a transformer, you can match the grid voltage, synchronize it. Otherwise, you cannot synchronize, right? Similarly, another way of doing this is either you can use a DC-DC converter and a DC. This DC-DC converter is a buck boost converter normally, and you have to use followed by a DC-AC inverter. So this DC-DC converter basically used for boosting the voltage and MPPT purpose, right? Why I'm saying always there is a converter or a transformer is there to push the voltage, because your PV, you know, you cannot connect a number of string PV panel in series. Otherwise, if one string it fails, one of the panel fails, then complete string power will be gone, right? Or if shadow is there, then complete that efficiency will be deteriorated, right? So to that, so there is optimal way of arranging the PV panel in series parallel connections, right? So to boost, so it cannot match the voltage the grid, right? So to do that, what you have to boost the voltage. Now, why I'm saying in either see every time in cascading with voltage source inverter, either there is a transformer or a DC-DC buck boost converter. So why it is there is because a voltage source inverter normally operates as a buck converter, because the output of the inverter is what? VM is M into VDC, where M is, you can see, yeah. So this M into VDC means, so M can be varied from what? It can vary from 0 to 1, or it can maximum modulation index can be 1. That means my output voltage is cannot be more than the input DC link voltage. So I cannot push, but my grid side voltage is what? Generally PV string size 48 volt around, it is there. But grid side voltage is what? Around 230 volt or 110 volts now sometime, some of the cases, right? So phase, I'm saying the phase voltage. So this is the case. Then another thing is, but if we'll do, this is the, because of this we are going what? Either transformer or a voltage, what DC-DC buck boost converter is using. Then what is the problem? Problem is, if we'll connect a transformer for a medium and low power, I'm saying because I'm not going for high power, because I'm going for low and medium power applications. Then this line frequency transformer is a heavy, because it's a 50 hertz transformer and 50 to 60 hertz some countries, but it's a core is iron core. So this, it's a heavy, the core is heavy and it's just bulky in nature. So nobody nowadays, nobody wants for their home rooftop application or a small industry application for their power supply. They don't want this much bulky thing and noisy thing, transformer noisy transformer and heavy transformer too. Because you might be knowing our mobile now also, we don't want a heavier weight. We want all the lighter. Okay. Similarly, another thing is what, if you this is the transformer problem. But another way thing is, if you go for more number of converter stages, then suppose DC-DC converter is there, okay, I'll get rid of this, I don't want this transformer, but I'll go to what, let DC-DC converter I'll use. But if you go with this cascading thing, then what is the thing is, this DC-DC converter, let it the efficiency you designed very what minutely you designed, let the efficiency is at 90%. Then what about this voltage source inverter? Let it be 90%. So when you cascade it, what is the equivalent percentage of means equivalent efficiency of this? It will product, right? Efficiency of this converter, because it's a cascading, eta 1 into eta 2. So it is around 80%. It will come, right? So what we are doing, and you need some control, different control for this converter, got it? So this is the one of the thing, efficiency degrades. Another important thing is, see, in simulation you might be simulating this voltage source inverter very nicely. Okay, pulse given the top switch, then not of that bottom switch. Okay, then switch you can switch on, right? But the problem is, when you will go for the hardware implementation, if two switches are there, two or more switches are there in inverter leg, then you need to give a dead band between the two consecutive switching pulses, because the one of the switches, if it is turned off and you want to go to turn on another switch, then this process of turning and turning off does not take place instantaneously. So it takes some time. So in between that, if you are turning on another switches, then it may short circuit the source. So that is called shoot through fault. So the source may blast, switch may blast. It is a short circuiting the source. So to avoid that, what normally people used to use, a deadband circuit is used to delay. A delay is introduced between the consecutive switching pulses of an inverter. But problem is, if you introduce the delay, it will introduce the harmonics. Basically, induction motor, if, who might have worked, they might have known how create a problem in the induction motor harmonics. Okay. So now what is the way? I need what boost the voltage, and same time I want to invert the voltage. And another thing is what shoot through problem is there. I need to take care of that. So is there any way? So the way is this DC-DC converter and DC-AC inverter, they can be do some combination and can be realized with the single stage buck boost inverter, which is nothing but what? Our impedance source inverter. So these can be realized. Can we do like something, these two converter something, so that this will realize this converter which can satisfy both the properties of DC-DC converter and DC-AC converter, and it can also, the shoot through problem should not be there. Okay. So how to do that? So how to realize this impedance source inverter? How this converter can be obtained, or how to formulate? So you might be knowing some of the converter I am naming here, Z source inverter or quasi Z source inverter, then multi-level impedance source inverter. Like, so how to then formulate this type of converter? Okay. To formulate this type of converter, let us first think on a basic voltage source inverter. Though you all might be knowing, but for formulation, I want to just refresh your mind. Okay. So a voltage source inverter basically operates in how many modes? State. One is what? Active state. Another is what? Zero state. So active state means either, if you see, this is a H-bridge converter, either this both the switch, both the diagonal switch operate, or opposite, these two, either SW1, SW2 operate, or SW3, SW1. Based on the, if it is plus VDC at the AC load, if you want, then you switch on the SW1, SW2. If you want a negative, just control the switches. Got it? But okay, so this is my active state. So here what voltage across the load is what? Nothing but either plus VDC or minus VDC, and power is transferred from the DC source to the load. This is very important. DC source to the load, right? The another state is what? Zero state. Zero state means what? Either I think this is one of the state in the PWM control of any inverter, right? So either all the top switches are on or bottom switches are on. If then voltage across the load is what? Zero. So during this time, no power is transferred from the source to the load. Okay. So voltage across the load is zero. No, this is the ideal state of the source. So zero state, right? Is there any other way of zero state? What is my condition? Voltage across the load should be zero, and there should not be any power transfer from the source to the load. So if I'll go this, then yes, there is another way, right? So if I can switch on all the switches of one of the inverter leg, like here, SW1 and SW4, what is the voltage across the load? Voltage across the load, because it's a mostly inverter load, means it's a DC load, inductive RL load, right? So RL load means it's a inductor is there. So inductor based on the current, it will take the anti-parallel diode path, and any of the switches, either top switch, and then voltage across the load will be zero. And there is no power transfer. You can see there is no path from the source to load to take path, because here is a short circuit. The SW1 is short circuited, right? So there is another way, but it is forbidden. This we don't use because it is short circuiting the DC source, right? So is there any other way? Okay, how can we utilize this? Because this is the problem creating. We are intentionally avoiding also this shoot through zero state. So to do that, let us, okay, parallelly, this is one part I have discussed, this voltage source inverter. Another part, okay, parallelly you see here. Because I have to see the I have to incorporate both DC-DC converter, boost converter and inverter combinedly to formulate a converter, right? So one part we have seen now, voltage source inverter, this is the operation, okay. Now another is what now? A DC-DC converter. So what is the DC-DC converter? This is a boost DC-DC converter. What is the operation? During the switch S is on, or during DTS, let the switch is operated with DTS, means time period of with duty ratio D. Then during switch S is on, you can see this inductor is energized, and voltage across the load is what? Nothing but the capacitor voltage. And when the switch is off, here what voltage across the switch is what? During duty ratio DTS, or during the time period of DTS, switch is voltage across the switch is 0. Here what? During 1 minute DTS, voltage across the switch is what? Nothing but the capacitor voltage. And what is the power? See here in this case, what is the power transfer to the load in the DTS period? 0. To the load is no supply from power from the source to load. But here what? There is supply of power from the source to the load, and the voltage across the switch is 0. Sorry, it's a capacitor voltage. So can you now think in a way, okay, in a way, so this is our voltage, okay, voltage gain is VC, VDC, okay. Now, can you now see the switch S operation with linking? Can you link this active state and shoot through state? How to link? How to visualize? See, what is that during active state? What we have seen here? We have seen during active state, voltage across the source is what? Across the load is what? Some is the VDC, means some DC voltage, right? And during shoot through state, what is the voltage across the load is what? 0, right? So can I say this shoot through 0 state, if I can link with this switch S, when switch S is on, switch S is on means both the SW1 and SW4 is on, then voltage across the load is what? 0. Here, similar to here, what is voltage across the switch is what? 0. So no supply of power from the source to the load. Similarly, if I go to the active state, it is equivalent to the switch is off. When S is off, what is the voltage across the switch? Voltage across the switch is what? Same as the capacitor voltage. What is the voltage across this switch here during active state? It is same as the DC link voltage, right? Because SW1 or SW2 is on, or SW either case. So it is, so our load is seeing here what? The same with the DC link voltage. Whereas here also, when switch is off, the voltage across the switch is same as the what? The load voltage. So when this is shoot through state, it is same as the. So can I replace this switch with the inverter leg like this? So what I am going to do is what? I am replacing this switch with what? This inverter, complete inverter leg. So such that my this boost converter operation, outer DC boost converter operation, so that means how then it is done? You see. So if in this inverter, you see, if both SW1 and SW4 is on, then it is equivalent to what? this duty ratio DTS period or not? DTS period. And if it is off, means either either SW1 and SW2 on, or SW3 means diagonal switches are on, then it is equivalent to this voltage state. This is state 1 minus DTS. Okay, so that means if when SW1 and SW4 are on, then it will energize this inductor. It is equivalent to this DTS period. And when diagonal switches SW1 and SW2 or SW3, SW4 are on, means active state, then it is equivalent to what? This VDC will supply power to the this load as well as capacitor. It will energize. Okay. So then what is the load here? It is looking here. So this load is looking the which voltage? Equivalent DC link voltage is now what? Capacitor voltage. So that is why this voltage across the load is what? Nothing but M into Vc, which is nothing but M into VDC by 1 minus D. Vc is nothing but what? Here we have derived, right? So this is the basic understanding how a voltage source inverter and a DC-DC boost converter can be combined or merged together such that both the properties is satisfying together. And here we have a shoot through issue, but here we don't have a shoot through problem, because when we are switching on all the inverter leg switches, it is energizing the inductor. It is not short circuiting the DC source. So it is satisfying both the purpose. It is energizing the inductor for boosting the voltage. At the same time, it is giving the zero state for the inverter. And the when switch it is other state, the active state, either SW1 and SW2, then it is equivalent to the active state. That is what your inductor is de-energizing, and it is the same as the AC load is getting power from the VDC and inductor, and it is also supplying to the capacitor, right? So this is the both the purpose is serving. Okay, then how to PWM, how to control in PWM method? Because now how to distinguish, how to properly select the switches. So to understand this, let us take a sine triangle PWM, SPWM. So if you take a SPWM technique, then what is the proper control technique? Whenever sine is greater than the triangle, your switch is on, means it's active state. When sine is less than the triangle, it is what? Zero state. So now what I have taken for a better understanding, I have taken a single triangle, right? A half of the triangle I have taken. I have taken here, you can see. So when you see, when triangle, the sine is greater than the triangle, it is what? Active state. It is active state. Now when sine is less than the triangle, it is what? Zero state, right? This is the normal sine triangle. Now how to boost the voltage? Because I have to shoot through, because that zero state, what you can do is what? I have to shoot through that so that my inductor will energize and it will act as a boost converter. So how to do that? On top of it, you can add a VST. So where to include this VST? This VST is what? Another control signal to control the shoot through duty ratio D, which can okay, I'll go. What is this D is nothing but here. So you can D is nothing but what? This D. So this D is nothing but how much time you are switching on all the switches of in a inverter link, right? So then how to incorporate? So maximum duration can be what? Yes, duty ratio of maximum duration of the shoot through period will be what? This zero period. Minimum can be anything from 0 to the maximum. So now how to introduce the shoot through? You have to introduce another control signal called V shoot through. Okay, so now how to incorporate that? You have to incorporate using another control signal, which is more than that. Then this height between the triangle height to this VST is given what? Shoot through period. Remaining what? You have normal zero state. Both top switches or bottom switches you can on. So this is for better control controllability. I am adding one more signal to shoot through. Otherwise, you can say, sir, why to need? Whenever there is a shoot zero state, I'll just switch on so that. But it is then it will vary a sinusoidal pattern. Then sinusoidal pattern means you need it will more harmonic across the capacitor. So then you may need a higher capacitor value. Okay. Now, what is the condition for this this type of control? Your modulation, the modulation index is nothing but what? Height of the triangle, your sine. M is what? Height of the sine wave. Your maximum height of the sine wave is M. And D is what? Your duty ratio, shoot through. So this sum of this shoot through duty ratio and modulation index should be less than unity. This is the one of the, this you should maintain it somehow. Okay. Now, this is the converter we realized, so that it can serve both the purpose. It can push the voltage as well as invert the voltage. So voltage across the load, we thought now after all this job, what we have found out? We have found out voltage across the load is nothing but M into BC. This we are thinking of, right? Now, what is the thing is here is, but what is the modulation index? What we have seen just now? Modulation index can be what? M is less than or equal to 1 minus D. M cannot be greater than duty ratio. So through 1 minus D. Modulation index cannot be greater than 1 minus, or you can opposite also, you can say duty ratio cannot be greater than what? 1 minus modulation index. So this is my highest modulation index I can do with that control. Now if I do go for this, then if I put this value, your V maximum is less than or equal to VDC. What happened? We have done so much thing analysis, but at the end what we found out? It cannot be more than or less than, sorry, it is your output voltage, AC voltage is always less than or equal to the DC input DC voltage. And at the same time you need a what? Voltage resistance R across the capacitor. What happened? We have done so much analysis, and after digging a mountain, we found a small mole or a small rat, right? No, it is not like that. But we got a basic idea how to realize or formulate a boost inverter. Okay, so problem is here what? Only 1 minus D, because M is becoming what? 1 minus D, maximum value of a modulation index become what? 1 minus D. So the numerator denominator cancelling, that's why okay, we cannot go. But if my converter, if I can realize a inverter, if I can take instead of normal DC-DC boost converter, if I take another DC-DC boost converter whose gain is more than this denominator part is less than 1 minus D, like 1 minus 2D, instead of 1 minus D, 1 minus 2D or 1 minus 3D, then I can push the voltage. Got it? So to realize that, there is what? Come what? Their source inverter. I'll pause here. If anybody has any doubt, you can ask me till this point.
Participants, please unmute your mic to ask questions.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have one doubt. Just that duty ratio. Can you just explain little once again, sir? That yes, sir. Here.
This
How you-
in this PP in this slide.
Yes, sir.
or,
Yes, sir.
So
Okay,
previous two
fine.
slides, sir. Previous two slides.
Yeah, this
Okay.
slide, sir.
Okay.
In this slide.
I'll-
Yes,
In this slide.
in this slide, sir.
Okay.
One more time explain, sir. This is shoot through
Okay.
duty ratios.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I'll try. See now, this is what a normal inverter, right? Okay, I'll take a
Yes,
different color. Okay, this is a normal inverter PWM control, right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now I'll go to sorry, what happened here? Oh, something. Okay, here. Okay. Okay. See, if you have understood this, I'll also explain a little bit. See, this is our normal
Yes, sir.
inverter. Is what this is the normal inverter operation, right? And
Yes, sir.
we used to prefer this mode and this mode. We don't go to, because we need active state and zero state, right? I think you might be knowing
Yes, sir.
inverter output voltage is like this, right? Sometimes it is plus VDC, then zero, then plus VDC zero, right? So this
Yes,
is
sir.
my
Yes,
zero
sir.
state, right? Okay. So
Yes,
now
sir.
this zero state, instead of going to this mode, I also can go this mode, provided my shoot through of this DC source should not happen, right? So
Yes, sir.
now how to go through and this? Okay, I have here what a DC converter, right? Because I have told
Yes, sir.
parallelly you have to think all the things. Now if you'll see here DC converter, when this switch is on, it is equivalent to the this shoot through state, yes or not? Shoot through
Yes,
zero
sir.
state, it is equivalent, and this S is off means it is equivalent to the active state, right?
Yes, sir.
Now so I have to include this switch S is on for how much duration? It's a DTS time, right?
Yes, sir.
D time. D is the duty ratio, right? Now I'll go here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here, this is my sine and this is my triangle, right? Now,
Yes,
when
sir.
I am comparing this sine and triangle, this is my what zero state is here. And whatever I want to introduce this shoot through means I can play inside this zero state only. I cannot go to the active state, because otherwise active state it will interfere, right? So if I want to
Yes, sir.
do any juggleries, either normal zero state or shoot through zero state, so that voltage across the load should be zero. At the same time, it should what energize the inductor. Last slide, whatever I have shown. So to do that, here what I have incorporated another control signal. You can see this control signal amplitude and the triangle amplitude. That is what the duration between that is what shoot through duty ratio. It is the opposite way. See, normally the modulation index is what from your zeroth line to highest means height of the side, and your shoot through is what? It's the opposite. It is the highest value of the triangle. It's the highest value of the triangle to the shoot through signal ST. That another control signal, right? So here, how
Yes,
much
sir.
maximum value of see, this is going, modulation is going in this direction. M value is in this direction. D is what? Opposite direction, right?
Yes, sir.
D duration. That means if it is my M and plus D should be what? Maximum height should be what? Then it is should be same as the triangle height. M
Yes,
plus
sir.
D is what? So that is why say here my duty ratio is shoot through duty ratio is nothing but here this duration, how much the shoot through signal VST is this triangle is there, how much duration it is occupying in that. So it can be varied. So it can be varied between M to 1. From M value, what is the maximum value of M and the triangle height? You can vary that. So that is the case.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So now we'll go to our okay. What we realized now from the general boost converter, normal conventional boost converter, whose gain is 1 by 1 minus D. Your output voltage is VDC by means input voltage by 1 minus D. we are okay. We are not able to gain the boosted voltage, but we got some idea how to do the boost means boost inverter, how to realize this impedance source inverter. So to now we'll go to a higher converter, means other converter who has better gain, voltage gain than the okay. I have better I have better voltage gain compared to the normal boost converter, right? So let us take a converter which is discussed or presented in the early 1986. This is there are two switches S1 and S2 and two inductor, two capacitor and load is there. Right. This is very important. Please, if you understood this, then all things will be smooth, right? Now this S1 and S2 what they used to operate complementarily. That means when S1 is on, S2 will be off. When S2 is on, S1 is off. So now what our thing is, we'll energize the inductor with duty ratio D. Then how to energize the inductor? I can energize the inductor by switching S2, by switch on S2. If I'll switch on S2, you can see this capacitor C1 will energize the inductor L2 and this C1 will energize L2. Similarly, C2 will try to energize L1. You can see here from this. And voltage of the capacitor load is nothing but what? Same as the capacitor. Okay, this is what? One more DTS period. Then at the 1 minus DTS what? The switches will be S2 will be off, then S1 will be on. If S1 will be on, then what? This VDC and this inductor will try to energize the capacitor and supply power to the load. You can see here this VDC now energize this capacitor C1, VDC and inductor L1. You can see here L1 and VDC is energizing this capacitor C1. And you can see here this VDC and L2 is energizing this capacitor C2 and supplying power to the load. So in this period, our VDC is energizing the capacitor is energizing the inductor, or capacitor discharging, inductor is charging. Here inductor is discharging, capacitor is charging and supplying all the time what voltage across the load is same as the capacitor voltage, right? Okay. Now, which switch is operated with duty ratio DTS? S2. S2 is operated at switch. S2 is operated with duty ratio D. Now, what is the if I want to realize these switches, what kind of switches I can replace? You can see this S1 should block the positive voltage and allow the positive current. Sorry, S1 should block the negative voltage and allow the what I can say positive current. Okay. So see, if I do the inductor voltage second balance, what is the voltage gain I can derive? VC1 is VC2 is VDC into 1 minus D by 1 minus 2D. So you can see now there is a factor is coming 1 minus 2D instead of 1 minus D, our conventional converter. Okay. Now, if I want to realize the switches based on this current and voltage profile, like I just now said, this S1 has to block the negative voltage because capacitor voltage is very high. See, you see when S1 is off, what is the voltage of the switch S1? It is the BC1 plus BC2 minus VDC. So it has to block, and BC1 is BC2 is higher than the VDC. So that's why it has to block the negative voltage and it has to allow the positive current S1. So that can be realized with a diode. And S2 should what? Allow both the positive and negative current, and that's why I can use a MOSFET here. Okay, now this is the converter, DC-DC converter with voltage gain what? VDC into 1 minus D by 1 minus. Now how to realize this converter, DC-DC converter, how to make it a boost converter, boost inverter, how to make this DC-DC converter to a boost converter. So like this, there in the conventional DC-DC converter, which switch was there was operating, that switch which is operated with the DTS period, that switch I replaced with the inverter leg, yes or no? Here which switch is operated with the duty ratio DTS? S2 switch is operated with the duty ratio DTS. Then can I replace this switch S2 with the inverter leg? Because when S2 is on, I can represent it is equivalent to the shoot through duty ratio, means shoot through state. Okay. So what I have to do is now, this is the converter, right? Just I am rearranging. So this is the DC-DC converter. After switch realization, this is the DC-DC converter. Then just I am rearranging. Just see, same converter. I am just taking, just rearranging for without any changing the connections. All the just I am rearranging for better understanding. Okay, this S2 I am just pulling it right side and all taking inside. Just same circuit, nothing I have changed. You can see this, or I can say this is that circuit after switch realization. Then I have just rearranged it. Okay. Now you will see it. Which switch is now with the operated with the DTS? Here switch S2. S2 is what? Operated with duty ratio DTS. Right. So I can replace this S2 with what? Inverter leg. Or not? Let's see. So now what I have to see? So I have to take this switch S2 and I want to replace, let me take this load from the across the capacitor to the load. Okay, just I am taking. Okay, if I take this, what will happen? My average voltage will be same, because see, what is the voltage? If I take the load across the capacitor C2 to the switch S2, what is the changes happening? The average voltage, is there any change? Because average voltage across the load is nothing but what? Average voltage across the inductor L1 and average voltage across the C2. L1 across the average voltage across the L1 is what? 0. We know any average voltage across the inductor in a DC-DC converter is 0. Then what is the average voltage across the load? It is same as the C2. So average voltage is not changing. Then what is changing? My instantaneous voltage or ripple is more, because when I'll switch on S2, my voltage across the load is 0. When switch on S2 is off, voltage across the load is what? It's same as the voltage across the inductor L1 plus C2. That means my ripple is more, but okay, voltage across the average voltage is maintaining. Okay. So if you understood here this point, this is nothing but similar to my inverter case or not. When switch in the active case, my voltage across the load is some DC link voltage. That at that time S2 will be off. It is equivalent to some of the diagonal switches are on. And when S2 is on, it is equivalent to the shoot through 0 state. Voltage across the load is 0. So now if you see this, if you understood this, can I replace this S2 with what? Inverter leg? Yes or no? Yes. So it is equivalent to S2 is on means what? It is equivalent to all the switches SW1, SW1 and SW4 are on. All the switches SW1 or SW4 or other, all the switches in an inverter leg is on. It is equivalent to S2 is on. S2 is on means this DTS period. Got it? And when S2 is off, it is equivalent to what? I can switch on SW1 and SW2. Voltage across the load is nothing but voltage across the C2, VC2 plus VL1, similar to here. So it is similar to this is 1 minus DTS period. So when S2 is off, S1 is on. Okay, so if we'll do this, then this converter comes, then it operates what? In the 3 state. This is the converter we realized. This is nothing but what? Z source inverter that you might be studying now. I think you might be seeing in many papers right nowadays. This is nothing but a Z source inverter. Now this Z source inverter, it is operate in what? 3 state: active state, 0 state and shoot through 0 state. So in active state, what I said, so SW1 or all the diagonal switches will be on, so that the voltage power should transfer from the load side to the source side to the load side, and voltage across the load is nothing but what, VC1 or VC2 plus inductor voltage, right? So you can see here, I have represented, because it's a short interval of time, and mostly loads are what, your inductive loads. Any inverter means what, RL load. So I can take a constant. I have represented a current source for a better understanding. So you can see here, so voltage across the load is nothing but what, now voltage across the inductor plus capacitor voltage. And what, power is transferring from the source side to the load side, and inductor is charging, inductor is discharging. Now another state is what, zero state. In this zero state also voltage across the, either I can switch on SW1 and SW3. So if we'll do this, this is also same as what, VDC is energizing the capacitor, and inductor, so VDC and inductor is energizing the capacitor, and voltage across the load is 0. What is the additional state I have taken? Shoot through. So this is the special state, which is nothing but that switch S2 is on. So if you'll on it, that is a diode. Diode is, if you switch on this, you will short circuit this. Then what is the voltage across the diode? Voltage across the diode is VC1, and we know VC1 is more than VDC. Okay, so if you'll see here, then this diode will automatically reverse biased. You can see here. Then capacitor will charge the inductors. Both the capacitor will charge the inductors, and voltage across the load is what, 0. So there are two types of zero state, I can say. One is normal zero state, another is shoot through zero state, like whatever I discussed in the first PWM control technique. So here also you can see. So this is my active state when sine is greater than the triangle. This is my active state. Then zero state is what, divided into two parts. One is what, shoot through zero state. Another is what, my normal zero state. Now how to decide this shoot through zero state, how much duration? So that depends on the my voltage gain formula. So my output voltage is what? My output voltage is what here? My M into, because this is the DC link voltage, I will get it. VC1 and VC2 is nothing but what? You will derive VDC into 1 way. But when you add the inductor voltage, that is nothing but the this inverter will see what? During the active state, inductor will see the voltage across the capacitor plus the inductor. So if you will see add that, then this is my voltage. It will come VDC by 1 minus 2D. So what is the then modulation index into the DC link voltage is the output AC voltage. So this is what my voltage. So now if for a particular voltage output, you can choose the M and duty ratio value, shoot through duty ratio value. So after choosing that, you can decide, okay, this is my, suppose 0.7 is coming modulation index and 0.3, then you can choose this height of the sine as a 0.7 and height of this is what, 0.3 from the triangle height. From the triangle height, or you can see from the 0, it is 0.7. Then it will be adjusted. So then based on that, if it is a constant you are saying, then it is zero state, it will be, if it is 0.3, then it is remaining part will be what? The zero state, normal zero state. Okay. So this is the, but what is the problem here is, the current is what? Discontinuous. The input current here is what? Discontinuous in nature, because the diode is during zero shoot through zero state, your diode is what? Off. We are able to push the voltage now, but in a single stage, and we are utilizing the shoot through state. We no need to now give the dead band, but my current is what? Becoming input current is what? Discontinuous, which is not desirable in PV application or UPS application or fuel cell applications. It is not desirable, right? Then what is the way out? You can derive another converter, quasi-Jersos. If you understood how to realize the Jersos converter, you can understand it very easily. So here also what? There are two switches, S1 and S2. both are operated in normally what I can say complementarily. When here what switch S1 is what operated with duty ratio DTS, and S2 is operated with 1 minus DTS. But here, because of inductor input is connected with inductor, so here what current is continuous in nature. So if you will see both the operation S1 and S2, just I modified. See, after switch realization, this is the converter. Then I can take this voltage across the capacitor to the what load side, because I have to connect the inverter. I have to realize this thing here. Why I have chosen S1 here? Load I have shifted to S1. Why not S2? Because S1 is operated with what duty ratio DTS, right? So if you see here, then here what S1 and is operated when S1 is on, it is equivalent to the 0 state. When S1 is off, it is equivalent to the active state. So it is, if you realize this with the inverter, the H bridge inverter, then I can replace this switch with what? A H bridge inverter leg. So this is 3 states are there. The active state, 0 state, and shoot through 0 state. So active state means what? When S1 is off. S1 is off means it is equivalent to SW1 or SW2 are on, or SW3, SW4 are on. Okay. So it is equivalent. So power is supplied from the source side and inductor to the load, and the capacitor is energized. You can see here. Power is transferred through inductor to the load, and capacitor also energized, like this. Then another 2 state what? 0 state and shoot through 0 state. 0 state is nothing but what? Normal. Top switches, all the top switches or all the bottom switches are on, then normal. So in this, it is same as the here inductor will charge, discharge, same as the active state. Only difference is what? Where additional state is what? Shoot through 0 state, where all the switches, it is equivalent to switch S1 is on. All the switches of an inverter leg, SW1, SW4 or SW3 and SW2, all the switches in an inverter leg will be on. Okay. So if we go to this, then our output voltage will be same as what? M into VDC by. Okay. So this is what, and input is continuous, right? Now this is what this 2-level converter, right? Now if you want to go for multi-level, because you know some of the advantage of multi-level inverter is the instantaneous error between the required sinusoidal voltage, output voltage, and the generated output voltage is what can be minimized because of the multi-level structure. If you go for multi-level structure, it can be done such that my harmonics will be come down. So if you go to the multi-level inverter, another advantage is what? Here distortion, lower distortion of output voltage with less dB by dt, and filter requirement also will be less or negligible. And input current also it will current what? It will lower distortion, and can be operated because if you are going with a higher level, your switching frequency also not needed much. Okay, you can minimize. Then multi-level impedance inverter are what? Let some of the multi-level inverter what I am going to discuss is now neutral point clamped and cascaded impedance source inverter. This is some of the examples you might have seen. This neutral point clamped Z source inverter and quasi Z source inverter. What we have taken? See, only the thing is changed here. What? See here, if you'll see this, your DC side is what? Intermediate network with just two intermediate network is connected together in series, and this is also you might be knowing the NPC converter. So they are cascading together such that you will get the 3-level output voltage. Similarly, but this will have what? Your discontinuous current, and for the continuous current you need this type of converter. Okay. So these are basic state how to switching on the all the switches. I think you might be knowing when you want to plus VDC, then you all the top switches you on it. When you are minus VDC, all the bottom switches you on it, and when you 0 state, in middle 2 switches you have to on it. Okay, and when you are shoot through 0 state, all the switches in an inverter, all the 4 switches you turn on it. So that is the basic funda. But if you see here, this neutral point clamped inverter, this another problem is this DC link capacitor voltage, right? But yeah, some controller are there. You can minimize this DC link capacitor voltage difference. And another variety of converter is what? Here, cascaded converter. Okay, so cascaded is what? This is a two-level Z source inverter, just cascading. I think if you understood this normal two-level Z source converter, just cascade it, then you can get it. Similarly, cascaded quasi-Z source inverter. Okay. Then, but okay, this is what multi-level. Then, what is the problem? We have discussed till now what, okay, we are able to get the positive voltage in a single stage from the low DC link voltage to we can get in a single stage higher AC output voltage and also multi-level. But what is the problem? Because nothing is come free, right? Everything, no system is perfect in this world. So what is the problem here is, if you visualize here, all the multi-level converter here are coming up with what? More number of what now? Coming with what? Inductor and capacitor inside. If the more number of levels means more number of DC inductor and capacitors. Here also, if you see, all the number of level increases, here number of inductor and capacitors are increased quite significantly, right? So how to reduce then what is the way out? So way out is, we'll go for another variety of converter. I'll switch to multi-level inverter. How to realize this converter? The thing is, in power electronics, if you know how to formulate a converter, then you can do your own converter. You can find out the problem with the whatever existing converter, and you can also formulate. But to know that, you should understand the basic funda behind it. How this converter came. Okay. So now, how this LC switch boost converter is derived is, it is derived from a basic bridge DC-DC converter. I think if you know bridge DC-DC converter is how it operates is, there are 4 switches, or I can say 2 pair of switches. One pair is what? S1, S2. Another pair is what? Another pair is S3 and S4. And these 2 pair operated combinedly. That means S1 and S2 operates together, and S3 and S4 operates together. And S1 and S2 operates complementarily with S3 and S4 pair. That means when S1, S2 are on, S3, S4 are off. When S3, S4 are on, S1, S2 are off. Okay, so when S1 and S2 are on, then what is the thing is here? Inductor will VDC and inductor will energize the capacitor, and it will what happen is here the load will supply power from the capacitor. Okay. Another switching pattern is what? Complementary. When S2 and S3 and S4 are on, when S3 and S4 are on, you can see, okay, see here, I am telling again, when S1 and S2 are on, what is happening here is, you can see this VDC and capacitor are in series. So when VDC and capacitor are series, then voltage capacitor is inductor is what? VDC plus VC1. So inductor is energized with the equivalent voltage source of what? VDC plus VC1. Whereas here, when S1 and S2 are off and S3 are on, then this inductor will de-energize and supply power to the load and energize the capacitor C. So here what I have seen, S1 and S2 are operated with what? DTS period, and S3 and S4 are operated with 1 minus DTS period. Then which, I have said, which switches should be replaced with now with inverter leg? Which is operated with DTS period? Then what is the operated over here? Which switches are operated with DTS period? S2 and S1 are operated. So either I can replace S1 with inverter leg or S2 with inverter leg, right? So this is the thing. This is a switch realization. After you can see the current and voltage profile, then you can switch realize. After switch realize, I can see what case 1 is what I can say. Either S2 is you can replace with what inverter leg. This is the inverter. S2 is replaced with what? S2 is what replaced with what inverter leg. Another case is what S1 I can replace with inverter leg. Here case 2 S1 can be replaced with inverter leg. There are two possible cases, either this and this. From this bridge DC converter, two types of boost inverter can be realized, right? Okay, if you understood this, then what is the voltage gain of this output of the voltage load, voltage of the load? So what is the VC1? See, this load is nothing but here you see carefully. What is the load here seeing the DC link voltage? It is nothing but what? Capacitor C1 voltage. Yes or no? Because when DC link voltage means what? When SW1 and SW2 are on, at that time what? S4 will be conducting. So S4 is conducting means it will see the capacitor C1 voltage. So if you see the C1 voltage, then this voltage across the output is what? M into Vc. So that is nothing but M into Vc. We can replace with what? VDC by 1 minus 2D. So my output voltage is what? M into VDC by 1 minus 2D. If D is what is the constant here? D should be less than equal to 0.5 because otherwise it will come to negative. This denominator you see it is 1 minus 2D. So D is what? If it should be less than equal to 0.5. Then only it will boost. Okay, it will operate in the stable region. Okay, so now we have achieved what? Two types of inverter from this converter. Yes or no? This is the two types of converter we have achieved now. One is this converter and another is this converter we have achieved. Okay, now if you'll see these two converter, I have taken two varieties. This is the case from the case 1. This is the case 1. This is the case 1. Another is what? Case 2. So case 1 is what? By replacing switch S2 with inverter leg, and case 2 is what? Replacing what I can say S1 with the inverter leg. One is S1, another is what? S2. So if you'll see these two types of inverter, if I'll take together here, you see here, this is a very interesting here thing. Interesting thing here is, if you'll see here, these two cases, this is out of case 1 and this is out of case 2. What we are realizing here, what observation we can make it out of here? We are able to see these two are symmetrical in nature. You see here. These two inverter, what we realize, two level of inverter, we'll see these two are mirror image, nearly mirror image of each other. So can I combine these two converter then? Yes, I can combine. So if I'll combine this, then I can get an output side I will connect what? NPC structure. Got it? So this is the 3-level LC switch based voltage boost NPC converter. Now how it operates? How it operates? So there are 3 types of states. One is active state, zero state, and shoot-through state. One is what? Active state, right? So active state means what? It is
voltage across the load is what, or VAN is either plus VDC or minus VDC, and zero state means what, VAN, that means the pole voltage. Pole voltage means this A point with respect to the N point. Pole voltage VAN is what, 0. If I want to 0 means either means both the switches of the two middle switches I have to on it, switch on it. If I want to shoot through straight, then what you have to do? I have to switch on all the switches in the inverter leg, right? So then what is the zero state? So see here, active state means during active state what we are switching on, either all the top switches or all the bottom switches I am turning on. So either SW11, SW12 or SW11, SW14, right? So this is for one phase. Suppose SW11 is on, then it is what, VDC and inductor L1 will energize the capacitor and supply power to the load. Then another phase, suppose you want negative voltage, then you can switch on suppose SW22 and SW23 and 24. Then you can get the what, this L2 and VDC will energize this capacitor C2 and it will get the negative voltage. And if you want to zero voltage, then what is the case? This is the case. Switch on. All the middle switches will be on. So the voltage across the load is what, 0. And if you want to shoot through, then what, all the switches in inverter leg will be on. So that my inductor will now energize with the help of VDC and capacitor C1. Here also VDC and C2. Okay. So this is the switching pattern. So when if you want plus VI across the load, then you have to switch on what, all the top switches. If you want minus VI, you have to switch on both the bottom switches. If you want zero state, normal zero state, then you have to switch the middle two switches. If you want shoot through zero state, you have to switch on all the switches in the inverter leg as well as this in between switches S1 and S2. Right. So with this, what, see, you can see there are 8 number of inductor and capacitors are there, but here only 4 number of inductor and capacitors are there in the in the intermediate network. But yes, in the intermediate network, because of reduction in the what, inductor, high frequency inductors, because these inductors are what, high frequency inductors, then we are able to, because you might be knowing this inductor cost is quite higher than the switch cost. Okay. So we can minimize the cost, though with the addition of one switch or two switches we are able to minimize, but okay, at the end we can minimize the cost. Okay. So if you do the voltage derivation by volt second balance, you can get the what, voltage of the capacitor is VDC by 1 minus 2D and VDC by 1 minus 2D. Okay, these are the voltage gain. Then if you will, I said you what, duty ratio D can be varied from 0 to 0.5 and modulation index you can vary from 0 to 1. So based on the how much voltage you need, VM, you can choose modulation index M and D value optimally. Then how to design the inductor? This is a normal procedure. So by considering the ripple content and frequency, you can design the passive components. And this is the PWM control. I think if you understood the basic PWM control, this is quite easy. So all the three pages, I have taken a very small section such that it will, that's for easy understanding. That's why here it will take a very few cycles of triangle. Then this carrier signal will appear as a constant. That's why here VA, VB, VC are constant. So or VA minus VAT is a unipolar PWM technique I have considered. You can see here all the switching patterns that I discussed already. Okay, so if you do hard here what? Here 48 volt DC is boosted to what? 110 volt RMS or 156 volt. For a 220 watt RL load, you can see this is the voltage input DC is what? 48 volt. It is boosted to a capacitor voltage. And you can see here these are what? Pole voltage, 3 level pole voltage. This is the line voltage, this is the phase voltage and the current. Hardware you can develop by using a suitable component and designing or PCB. Okay. I can summarize the converter what? It is able to boost the input DC voltage and give required 3-level AC output voltage in a single stage, unlike conventional NPC, neutral point clamp voltage source converter. And it utilizes, unlike the conventional voltage source converter, you have to introduce the shoot through, deadband by using additional analog circuit, or you can you have to use in a program itself to avoid the shoot through. But here we are utilizing that shoot through state, so we don't have any fear of shoot through fault. Okay, and utilizing that shoot through state to boost the input voltage in a single stage. Okay, then in comparison to the 3-level conventional NPC and ZSI and quasi ZSI, it utilizes less number of DC sources and the passive components, such that your weight and size can be minimized. And as usual, continuous current is also carrying, means that features is there, like the quasi Z source inverter. And you can also do the experimentation. Okay, I'll pause here. If any doubt, I can take the questions. Any questions?
Participants, please unmute the mic and then ask.
Okay, if I think if you don't have doubt, means any queries, then we'll proceed to our next slide. Okay. Then see, what is the thing here is, okay, we have derived this converter. Now, what is the thing is, you have seen the switches, because you are intermittently you are boosting the voltage and inverting it. So the voltage across the capacitor is what? Boosting. So because of that, voltage across the switches also will be quite high, so that if voltage across the switches are high, then there is chance of what? Switch failure. Okay, so it can be any converter. So how to address that issue, right? So any impedance source inverter are used for what? Boost inverter, right? So voltage developed across the various elements in the intermediate network and DC link are significantly high as compared to the load rating, because you are boosting the voltage, right? So there is what? Switch failure chance is there, right? So to get rid of that, here what we have, I'm going to discuss another type of converter which can address any of the lag switch fault or intermediate switch fault, right? So if you see this converter, this is it's a H connector converter, and in between we have 4 quadrant switches are there, right? So we have now 3 states. This will also operate in a normal condition without any fault. It will operate in active state, 0 state, shoot through state. In the active state, what you have to switch on what any of the top switches and one of the 4 quadrant. What I can say, either if you want a VAN to plus VDC, any of the top switches or bottom switches. If plus VDC you on the top switches, if minus VDC you switch on the bottom switches. If you want 0 voltage, what you have to turn on? You have to switch off all these top switch and bottom switches and only turn on the 4 quadrant switches, like here, 0 state. If you want the shoot through 0 state, what you have to do? You have to switch on all the switches in inverter leg. If you switch on all the, then what will happen? This VDC and this capacitor are in series, will energize the inductor L. Then when this capacitor will charge during active state and 0 state, it will charge. Okay. This is the switching combinations. So active state and 0 states, all the switching combinations you will see here. Then VC1 and VC2, if I will do the volt second balance, it's VG by 2 into 1 minus 2D. Okay. So if we'll plot this voltage gain versus duty ratio what is the plot is like this. So accordingly, you can choose the duty ratio and M value to get the voltage gain, right? And you can also the component also you can design it. Now the real thing is what? How to address this open circuit fault of an inverter leg switches of this type of converter, which can boost the voltage and give the 3-level output voltage. Suppose what you have to do is, if here any of the inverter leg switches are faulty, any one of these switches faulty, then what you have to do? You have to maintain the objective is what? You have to maintain the line voltage. A, B, between A, B, B, C or CA, you have to maintain the line voltage such that it will not be affected, right? So in this case, what you have to do? Suppose here I have shown here A phase switch fault is there, SW11 or SW12 or both are in faulty condition. Then what you have to do? Corresponding neutral point, SW13 is what? The 4-quadrant switch is what? Turn on. So corresponding SW13 is on because it is a phase fault. If B phase fault, then you have to switch on SW23. If C phase fault, you have to turn on SW33. Right. So corresponding 4-quadrant switch you have to on, which is connected to the neutral point. And what you have to do? Only turning on will not help. You have to change the PWM pattern. So what you have to do is, you have to do you have to do the phase. What I can say is, what you have to do here is, so normal case you can use a normal a unipolar pulse width modulation technique, right? So in case of switch fault, what you have to do is, you have to generate a line voltage such that what you have to do is, see, VAN is what you have to modify the phase. See here, for 3-phase VA, VB, VC you are giving. Now, to maintain the line voltage, there should not be 120-degree now phase shift between the VA, VB, VC. There will be what? Some modification in the phases of the modulating signal. So what is the modification? If A phase is fault, see, this is the normal condition. In the normal condition, what? Here VAN, VBB, VNC are 0, right? This is the 2 pi by 3 means 120-degree phase apart. Now, if A phase is fault is there, now what you have to do? You have to do, there is a modification you have to do. It is not now VAN is 0. Now VBN and VCN you have to change, not like 120-degree phase apart. It will be minus 5 by 6 by 5 by 6, such that my line voltage should be maintained. So how to maintain line voltage? I have to change the phase angle of the modulating signal appropriately. So for A phase fault, I have to change like this. So what about the other phases? You can do this is like vector. This is nothing vector calculation. Okay, so corrective angle, what you can do? If A phase fault is there, then you have to B phase what? Modify to plus 5 by 6 and minus 5 by 6. If B phase fault is there, sorry, here B phase, here C phase. If B phase fault is there, then what you have to modify? You have to modify A phase and C phase. If C phase loss is there, sorry, I would tell opposite way, sorry. See, here A phase loss is means here it means you have to modify what? B phase and C phase. If B phase loss is there, then you have to modify B phase, A phase and C phase. If C phase is loss is loss is there, then you have to modify B phase and A phase. So by appropriately modifying the modulating signal like this, you can do it. So you can see, because of time constraint, I have to wind up. See, you can do here. For this is the simulation result of one of the A phase. So after a phase fault, we have to modify the phase angle of the modulating of B phase and C phase. So here what input for this testing we have taken what 48 watt input, RL load of 200 watts, and you can take inductor is 6 million capacitors are these values, and switching frequency is 4 kilohertz. Okay, so to achieve this, what we have to take is M value is what? To get the pole voltage of plus 100 minus 100, you can calculate those formula using that formula. M value is 0.6 and D value is 0.63. Okay, so here we have seen what 2.2 is the ampere of the current, right? So this is the normal condition. Okay, the output voltages, and if it is post fault condition, it is able to maintain the same voltage. You can see here. Okay. And if you see, because one of the here pole voltage is what before fault it is plus or minus 100. Because of A phase fault, then what you have to do? You have to switch on. I told na that 4 quadrant switch you have to turn on. So it is becoming what 0. And line voltage is become, instead of 3 level, it is becoming what 5 level. It is becoming what 3 level now. Okay. So this is the case, and this is what the phase voltage before fault and after fault, and current also like this. Okay, and this is the case of if any of the 4 quadrant switches are faulty there, then you have to switch on. You can see this is the result. I can get it. So in summary I can write what I can tell you is, so this is a fault tolerant multi-level converter which can boost the input voltage and get the desired output voltage. On top of it, it will carry all the advantages what are the previous LC switch converter. On top of it, you can add means it is what able to sustain the switch fault in any phases or in the bidirectional switches, right? But obviously you have to reduce the power rating so that emergency load can be operated, but voltage rating can be maintained, okay, without any transformer, okay, by adjusting the shoot-through duty ratio. Because when you are going for changing the voltage amplitude of the VA means phase modification you are going after the fault, then there is obviously √3 times the line voltage. So which can be compensated by what shoot-through duty ratio modification. Okay. So here I'll pause. I think your time is now. Any questions? I'll be happy to take. Yeah. Any questions, please?
Sir, in case of DC-DC converters, can we use this LC topology for like research area, or is there any other improved converter? Only
No,
DC?
this is a DC to AC direct. No intermediate converter. This is not the DC converter, right?
But that particular switch boost topology can be used for only DC-DC conversion. Just because we are converting DC to AC only DC-DC can be add the part.
No, it is see if you'll see this converter, I'll go to that LC switch. This is the DC to AC converter. Okay.
Sir.
This is the DC to AC converter, right? You can use for this is the LC switch, right? It's a DC to AC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of that inverter, simply can be use the DC part for the DC-DC converter. That's my doubt.
Oh, you are saying only this DC part, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You can see, you can utilize it. Okay, it's not a problem. Okay, if many people you can yeah, this can only be utilized.
Can it function like a bidirectional DC-DC converter, sir? Can we like operate it as a bidirectional DC-DC converter? In case of
but some modification needs. Okay, it can be operated, but some modification needs. Okay.
Are there any relevant topologies for these kind of applications for bidirectional converter using switch boost? Or
there are see my students are working now already. Okay, there are already they have simulated and demonstrated. Okay, so they are working now here. So right now also there are other converters are there. It can be operated in bidirectional mode also. Okay.
In this ZSC, sir? In this
Yes, yes,
ZSOS concept?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And Dr. Jain, a small suggestion here to the person who was asking, can it be common or otherwise? Okay.
Yes.
Recently, a question has been asked, can it be used this way or that way for bidirectional or that way?
Yes, it's this is this
No,
converter.
I just want to give a suggestion.
Yeah.
It is better to first make a topology of both the things and then look for what are the common switches and how can you eliminate one of them.
Yes.
So
Yes,
that is
yes,
how you
yes.
should approach.
Yes, 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 yes.
See, what
Yes.
happens, most of our engineers or faculty is looking for a ready-made topology
Yes,
and
yes,
they
yes.
topo that topology and they
Yes.
miserably fail every time.
Yes, 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 yes.
So for circumventing that, I am suggesting this. You make two independent things and then try to see whether those switches which are common, can they be used by using or by some kind of modification of topology in one, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is how you should
Because
approach.
exactly, yes, exactly. This cannot be working for other.
Thank you.
You
I got
have
it.
to see. Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'll take to if any other questions, please.
Sir, somebody has posted a question in the chat window. How to get
Okay.
pure sine wave from this? I think Mr. Lax.
Okay, let me see. Okay, actually, I'm not. Can you read out the question, please?
I think, sir, he was asking about some slide. He's not clear about it. How to get pure sine from this? That's what the question written there. But what does he mean by this? We don't know.
I think chart option is not available here because I am not in that group. Might be. That's why I'm not able to see. New chart.
No, sir. On the menu screen, beside that hand, there is a hand symbol, sir. Can you see hand symbol?
1 second. Yes. Okay.
Beside that hand symbol, there is chart. Chart.
Sir, that is not active. That's what I'm saying.
Acha, okay.
Only available. The chart is chart in channel meeting is only available to team members. That is actually.
Okay, I would like to supplement here that question. I'll try to answer. Could I?
Yeah, sir. It's not a problem.
Okay. First
I'm
of all,
not able to see that question. Yeah.
First of all, in inverters, since you are switching, and if you are switching from DC, you will be only getting pulses, right? To constitute a sinusoidal, you need to do multi-stage switching or multi-level switching. But
Yes.
even then, you get only a staircase unless you put a proper wave shaping circuit after switching output. Okay. So it is not possible to get a perfect or pure sinusoid using an inverter from a DC input. I think that should clarify.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yeah, exactly.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in this LC switched and quasi jet switching method, so
Yes.
maximum how much level we can achieve, sir? It means if I go for higher level like 21 level, 49
Yes,
level,
yes,
is
yes.
there
People are working now. See, problem is, say 48, 49 is physically industry oriented. People discourage because the number of switches will be quite high, right? Because you are going more level means more switches, and here on top of it, here the difficulty is of this circuit, this kind of circuit. Your input side is now what associated with the passive elements. So the number of passive elements also quite go in increasing, right? So at max I have seen like 5 to 7 level of inverter, right? But people theoretically can mention like we are going to 13 level, 15 level, 19 level, so many things, right? But the real difficulty is we cannot go beyond physically, we cannot go because of the constraint like the number of passive components count will increase quite significantly after a certain level, and the switches also quite very high. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, one more question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, normally industry people maximum it means they will go for any
3
higher
to
level
5.
switching.
No, 3 to 5. 3 to 5 maximum. Okay.
Okay. 3 to, okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if we use PV source as the input source, so definitely at the output side we need to use an inverter to get the AC output.
Yeah. Yes.
Sir, most of the times we are using transformers for making the voltage which is required to meet the demands.
Yes.
Shall we use this inverter without using the transformer to
Yes, that's
produce
what.
the required voltage?
Yes. That's what the objective of this type of converter.
Sir, what is the level we need to set for meeting the demand directly, 415 or 3-phase voltage or single phase voltage?
See, for the single phase voltage, 110, because this is not for the high power level. I am again reminding you, this is for the medium power at max, low power to medium power applications. Okay, at the household application or normal institute level applications. Okay, for high power level, it is not, it cannot be suited for. Okay.
Sir, is it possible to raise the level for high power applications? This LC switch 3 level.
Problem is if you will increase the voltage level in the output side, then whatever the current, it will reflect like a transformer action. It will raise the current in the input side, right? And that inductors, whatever the connected to the input side DC source with the series inductors, then that inductor has to carry that much of current, right? So that is the problem there. So developing with that much current rating inductor is very difficult. Okay, that is the problem.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Recently, I read one paper in which that paper they achieved up to 49 levels, sir, in inverter levels. Why they can't go for in making commercialization? Is there any difficulties?
I think I have told this thing. See, number of levels comes with what? Number of switches, right? And number of switches means you have to that many gate drivers, that many isolated for gate driver means isolated DC sources, and so many. The size is becoming very high, and number of switches more means your fault. Chances of fault also, because these are all semiconductors, right? Reliability also inversely proportional. The more number of switches, the more less reliable, right? So that's why industry don't go. They want they don't want hi-fi technology. They want we don't want that, but it should be reliable. It should operate 24/7. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, one more thing here to all the audiences, I would like to tell. We are all obsessed with sinusoidal voltage waveform. Are we or not? Anybody to answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but sinusoidal voltage is not a requirement. It was a compulsion imposed on electrical engineers because our grid generates sinusoidal voltage. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now for a brushless DC motor or a stepper motor, do I need a sinusoidal voltage?
No, sir.
No. So this is the reason today's drives do not need sinusoidal voltage. Neither our LEDs or BLDC fans need sinusoidal voltage. Your air conditioners and others also do not need sinusoidal voltage. They have built-in inverters who can convert whatever wave shape is available to DC voltage, and then with the help of an appropriate power conditioning circuit, we can switch on the motor, which is either BLDC or a switched reluctance motor, so on and so forth. So requirement today is not in most of the applications sinusoidal, right? It can be a tailored wave shape. Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So this is what it is today. Today we are in a different world. Yes, sinusoidal because of our turbo generators, turbo alternators at common generating power plants, they produce only sinusoidal. We have been working with sinusoidal. Okay. Today, most of the applications, maybe 40-50% applications, have their own inverters, generate their own wave shapes and utilize. What we need to feed them is only energy, which is in whatever forms. It will be converted using a converter or diode or a rectifier into a DC, and from DC we synthesize our requirement and meet our application. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Right. I hope there are no more questions to ask. Anyone left? Okay, then thank you, sir. Thank you for such a nice lecture on the power plant converts for renewable energy systems. We have already started receiving feedback on these lectures. I hope it is useful for the researchers working in the field of power plant converters, especially for those working in the fields of renewable energy systems. I also thank all the participants for patiently listening to the lecture. I hope all your doubts are cleared. For any other questions, you may directly contact the speaker. Thank you, one and all. We'll be sending other links in the WhatsApp group for any further queries. Thank you.
Okay, sir. The session was very nice. Thank you, sir. Session was very nice, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you.